just like a heartbeat, life has all of its ups and downs. We're supposed to experience ups and downs in our lives, and it's up to us to be able to navigate and to lead ourselves through those moments. So when I was at my lowest, I needed to learn how to turn my life around. I needed to learn how to become a better leader, a better lover, a better server, to turn this pain into purpose, to share my message and turn it into a mission. I needed something greater to focus in on, or I was going to continue to suffer. And I believe that we can transform our lives and ourselves regardless of what we have endured before now. What is up, my dear friends, and welcome back to another episode here on the Honey, I'm Home podcast, a podcast helping you to become a better leader within yourself and in your own home so that you can lead yourself over the obstacles, stopping you from experiencing more happiness in your life and relationships. And today, we're going to be talking about how you can begin to turn your life around, especially if you are feeling stuck or as if life isn't changing for you, like it's not getting any better and you're just kind of living in this moment in time where life just feels like it's working against you rather than for you. But before we dive into that, my dear friend, we're going to be talking more about not only what it means to turn your life around, what does that look like? We're going to be giving you some mindset and some encouragement. And then we're going to end it with some 3 strategic steps that you can implement in your own life so that you can feel empowered to go out there and begin to transform your life around. But today's episode is brought to you by One Team Media. If you want to learn about One Team Media, go to oneteammedia.com, and there you can find everything media related between how to share your story, consultation, and how to begin to start your own podcast, and so much more. Once again, that is found at oneteammedia.com. Now on to today's episode, where we're going to be spending some time together to talk about how we can begin to turn our lives around. My dear friends, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the show. We are back, and we are going to be talking about something super important in our life, but there's not an episode that goes by that I don't think it's super important, because if it wasn't super important, I wouldn't probably be spending this time with you today, because I don't feel like my voice is that important. But I hope that this podcast episode encourages you to stand up for yourself and understand how powerful you truly are. I believe that we have the power to create ourselves anew and to begin again. You know, wherever we're at, I believe that we are only a few steps away from being able to turn our lives around and transform our overall vitality and aliveness that we experience day in and day out. I remember not too long ago where my life seemed to be rather dull. Like I felt like I was going to be stuck in this broken world where all I saw was the brokenness, not only in my own life, but also just the world around me, where it was hard for me to relate with people and build some solid friendships. You know, I found myself struggling to find happiness and just feel genuine joy in my life consistently. My life felt zapped and broken because I lost friends, I lost lovers, I lost myself, I lost my career, I lost my dream. And when you lose a lot of these things, oftentimes, man, it just strikes you down and beats you up and makes you feel disempowered. You know, when you go through difficult times, it's hard to feel empowered. It's hard for you to turn your life around, especially when you go through, you know, things that make you feel like life is ending. Life is coming to an end because of X, Y, or Z. But you know what? There hasn't been a time when I was sitting in suffering or hardship that I thought in that moment of suffering or hardship that in the middle of it all, I was like, oh, this is going to be worth it. Never have I experienced anything like that in my life. I've never been in the midst of chaos and been like, oh man, I'm so excited for the, you know, upturn or the moment of like, whoa, like I know that this is what I'm supposed to be going through. I'm usually miserable in those moments too, right? But just like a heartbeat, life has all of its ups and downs. We're supposed to experience ups and downs in our lives, and it's up to us to be able to navigate and to lead ourselves through those moments. So when I was at my lowest, I needed to learn how to turn my life around. I needed to learn how to become a better leader, a a better lover, a better server, to turn this pain into purpose, to share my message and turn it into a mission. I needed something greater to focus in on, or I was going to continue to suffer. And I believe that we can transform our lives and ourselves regardless of what we have endured before now. The purpose to our suffering is that out of our pain, we will rise, expand, grow, and achieve together. I think there's meaning in our pain. I think there's meaning in our suffering. And I oftentimes used to think that suffering was some of the worst parts about life. Like, I didn't want to experience it, so I didn't allow myself to experience it. So when I was experiencing it, I was trying to distract myself from experiencing it, and what it did is it captured it in a bucket. It captured it in a bucket that didn't allow it to be released out of the bucket, because what you don't accept, what you don't acknowledge, you can't accept, and what you cannot accept, you cannot heal, you cannot process, you cannot release. And this is a you versus you battle. This battle is not easily won, and it will require you to transform, turn yourself around, and begin to grow and step your life up and forward into a greater existence. You see, there is so much purpose in our downfall, but it's up to us to seek that. It's up to us to see that. It was up to me to find that, because I could continue to stay in the victim mentality, the poor me, that I got cheated on, that I grew up in a poor, broken home and a poor, broken family. You know, my life always sucked. We're always in financial distress. We were always struggling. I couldn't ever, everybody in my school wanted to fight me for some reason. Most people were jealous. Most people were, I didn't have it super easy, but I'm sure you don't either. So, like, we could continue to live there, but I challenge you not to live there. It's not worth living there. A life staying in the victim mindset is not worth living. You got to build yourself out of that. And that's the key here, is you got to build yourself out of that. But in order to build yourself out of that, you got to learn how to turn yourself around. Now, you don't want to make a 360-degree turnaround, because that will put you right back to where you started. 360-degree turnaround is a complete turnaround, which puts you right back where you're at. What you need to begin to focus in on is a 180-degree turnaround. So this is how I want to process this. This is what I want to help you understand, is that pain that you experience is inevitable. It's a part of life. Just like your heartbeat has ups and downs, your down is pain, right? When you experience a downfall, it brings you pain. You're supposed to experience a downfall so that you can build yourself back up, so that you can learn from that, so that you can teach from that, so you can become wise from that, so that you can grow through that. It's vital. It's important for your expansion, for your awareness, for your ability to break generational curses. So anytime that you experience pain, understand that pain is a part of life. It's inevitable, right? That's another word for it. When you experience pain, just know that it's part of life, and just accept it. Be like, yeah, this is just this is the card that I was dealt. This is what I have to experience. This is what I have to go through right now, and I have to go through it. I'm not going to sit in it. I'm not going to chill in it. I'm not going to bathe in it. I'm going to get through this. I'm not going to just accept it. I'm going to get through it, right? So, hear me out. What needs and what is required of you if you want to turn your life around is a 180-degree turnaround. So that means everything that you're currently doing that's not helping you to move forward and to progress forward is the very thing that you need to do the exact opposite of. So let's just say, for example, you're sleeping in, okay? You're sleeping in till like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 on the weekends. Well, what's the opposite of sleeping in? Well, the opposite of sleeping in is waking up early. Pretty simple. Not making this too complicated, because I understand some of the places that you guys are in life where waking up is a challenge. I once was there. I didn't want to wake up. I wanted to stay in bed. I wanted to keep the curtains closed. I didn't want to see sun. I didn't want to listen to anything good. I didn't even want to interact with myself if I didn't have to. So I understand that that could be hard for some of you, and I don't take that easy. I don't take that lightly. It's challenging some days to get up, especially when you don't feel like it. But you've got to begin to identify, as the leader of your own heart, what you're currently doing that's no longer serving you, that's currently keeping you stuck in your own misery, in your own victim mentality, in your own mind. What are you currently doing that's keeping you trapped? That's stopping you from turning your life around? That's no longer serving you? Are you masturbating too much? Are you drinking too much? Are you eating too much? Are you not working out enough? Are you indulging in video games and mindless scrolling, missing out on life's opportunities and the beauty that is surrounding us on a day and day, constantly, always there? Identify. It's the first step, is just identify. Identify what you're currently doing and do the exact opposite. That's what you need to focus in on. That significantly helped me. So what was I currently doing at the time? Well, one thing that I wasn't doing was, and technically that means that's what I was doing, I wasn't reading. So I was constantly on social media. I was constantly just watching mindless television, listening to, bad music that would make me feel depressed. I was watching, shows that didn't add anything to my life. So I was like, well, if this is not helping me move forward and it's keeping me stuck in my pain, I need to do something more productive, more proactive, that helped me achieve the quality of life that I wanted to live. So I started to read more. And I've talked about and highlighted the importance of reading and how that's completely changed my life. Actually, there was one book that completely transformed my life, and I couldn't believe how much it changed my life until I actually read through it, applied it, and things started to turn around and change. And if you don't know what to do, you can continue to listen to this podcast, or you can go grab yourself a book to teach you. Identify what you're currently doing that's causing you a problem, and then read a book about the solution to fixing that problem. So one of the things that I experienced in my upcoming of like trying to transform myself, trying to transition out of this low quality of life where I was constantly miserable, easy to anger, quick to just judge everybody, just miserable, mean, nasty guy. I didn't always let that guy show, but that's how I felt inside. So when I didn't want to be that and I wanted to be happy, healthy, positive, wealthy kind of guy, I started to identify what were some of my issues, and I didn't know how to solve them. I just identified those issues, and then I started to read books, and then I started to watch podcasts, and then I started to take seminars, and I started to buy into courses to help me reprogram my mind to fix my problems. Sometimes we need a book, and think of a book as a instructions to life. A book, self-help book, is like instructions to life. How do you live life? How do you process life? How do you get through life? How do you create happiness? I started to read about happiness and love and forgiveness and healing and therapy and psychology and all sorts of fun, interesting topics that I was battling with. And once I found the solutions, I found empowerment, right? So remember, the first step here is just to stop doing what you're currently doing that's no longer serving you and start thinking about the things that you can implement in your own life that can help you. And if you don't know what those things are, seek them out. Like maybe a good Google question is, what can help me feel happier in life? And you'll find some standard things that you're probably not currently doing to turn your life around. You're probably not spending enough time outside. You're probably not walking barefoot. You're probably not working out. You're probably not drinking enough water. You're probably not eating correctly. You're probably not breathing in deep quality breaths that help to regulate your nervous system. You're probably not getting enough sunshine. You're probably not getting enough minerals or vitamins. You're probably not, there's a lot of things that you're probably not doing because they're not super relevant or easy to do because of the world that we currently live in. And so getting back to turning your life around is a matter of just doing things that you once maybe did even as a kid. Maybe step outside more, maybe walk barefoot, maybe take a hike, maybe start exercising, maybe start sweating, maybe start eating fruits and vegetables that used to be forced down your throat. Maybe, it's just these little critiques that can cause major transformations. Don't let those small things stand in your way to make you feel like, hey, this doesn't matter. There's a book called The Compound Effect, and it's a very powerful book that helps you to understand the power of compounding. And it's little by little stacking up your daily wins, which will help you to live a positive, happy, healthy, positive, wealthy quality of life. So it's like stacking those daily wins. So I started to journal. I started to read. I started to meditate. I started to stretch. I started to work out. I started to go on walks. I started to practice breathing practices. I started to get in touch with my body to allow my body to be more at peace, right? So that's the first step. The second step here is you've got to really learn how to become more optimistic and see the opportunity instead of the predicament in this distressing moment in time. I wrote down here that I believe that we would be less apt to see ourselves as the victims if we saw that the very events that hurt us also offered us the opportunity to expand our ideas, our awareness, actions, and aliveness. So step 2 is really about seeing the opportunity instead of the predicament in this distressing event. I understand that suffering and hardship sucks. There's never been a time in my life where I was like, I don't think that, this is that bad. When it's bad, like when we lost my wife's father, my father-in-law, out of just suddenly, that pain was miserable to deal with. And I never took a moment in the middle of all of that and think that moment was worth it. Never. So when I'm not saying to ignore the pain that really exists, I'm telling you to just like, at that moment in time, I knew my mission when everything falls from underneath me that I once knew to be true to me. I had to rewrite the story. I had to create a new vision. It wasn't me trying to ignore the reality, but it was helping me. I had to create a new reality instantly. I had to start pitching my wife. Anytime we have a setback, I have to make sure that I refocus her on the vision, refocus her on the mission, refocus her on, hey, life's going to be good. Life is great. We're okay. We're going to get through this. It's re-anchoring ourselves to the vision, to the mission of our family, right? And that's what kind of helps us to catapult ourselves out of those moments of difficulty. To turn your life around, you've got to understand what's around on the other side. Having a vision to look forward to recreate that vision. Yes, it takes time, energy, and effort, but so does suffering. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort. That's why you don't feel great. That's why you feel depleted, depressed. You don't have energy. You don't have vitality. You don't have aliveness. You don't have what you want in life because they both cost something. Choose your hard, right? Choose your challenge. And I would rather be challenged to live a great life than stay victimized and depressed and lonely and scared and fearful and with a closed off heart like I once lived. And I'm asking you to see the opportunity. If you can't see the opportunity, create the opportunity. As a leader of oneself, you must create the opportunity if you don't see the opportunity. That is part of leadership. It's to create a new vision for yourself. It's to create a new vision for your family. It's to create a new vision for those around you. It's giving you something to look forward to. That's the only way that you can get unstuck, is to give yourself something to look forward to. To turn your life around, you have to have something better to turn around toward. Don't forget that. So see the opportunity. Understand that suffering, the hurt that we might experience in our life, is an opportunity for us to expand our ideas. It's there to help us to expand our awareness. It's there to help us expand our actions, the actions that we should no longer be taking because it's what led us to the suffering, or it's perhaps going to help us to feel more alive, because we know what great falls and suffering feels like. The third idea here is that I think it would be very powerful if in that specific dark moment we could say and speak more positively to ourselves that this is in the hand that I was dealt. Now I'll play it as well as I can. So the third idea here is just basically shifting your mind to be like, hey, I accept this. This is the card that I've been dealt. This is the hand that I've been dealt. And I'm going to play this hand the best that I can. When we oftentimes go through challenging times, my friends, we oftentimes stop doing the very best things that we should be doing in our lives. We stop all sets of positive momentum and action. We just stop. And I think stopping is probably one of the worst things you can do. Your habits go out the window. You stop exercising. You stop reading. You stop looking into a hope-filled future. You just focus in on that one event. And the secret here, when I'm being challenged with very difficult moments in life, is just being like, hey, this is the hand. Like, this was the life that I was given. This was the story that was written. And I'm going to show up and bring the best of me. And now the best of me might not be the best of me that's 10 years from now, but it's the best of me today. And I'm going to be proud of that man that shows up today, the best that he can, so that he can get through this and lead other people through this too. Don't forget to continue to show up in the best way, even in the moments of complete suffering and chaos, turmoil, and struggle. You're being asked to be challenged. You're being challenged right now. Work on yourself, to develop yourself, to be able to partake and overcome these moments of times of chaos, turmoil, and struggle. Bunker down, hunker down, and take care of you. Bring the best you. What would your best thoughts be in a moment like this? Ask yourself that constantly. What would my best self be doing in this very moment of chaos, turmoil, struggle? How would I feel if I was healed? How would I feel if I had peace? How would I feel if I had happiness? How would I feel if I was living the life that I wanted to live? That might even stop you in your tracks and be like, well, what is that life that I want to live? What kind of life do I want to live? That's a good question to ask, ain't it? I don't know. I think so. So what you should be doing in this time is just understand that when you go through challenging times, bring your best self. Don't bring your worst self because the situation's worse. Don't fall to the occasion. Rise to the occasion. Bring your best self to the occasion. So that means continuously doing your best in those moments of turmoil, chaos, and struggle. That means doubling down on all of your happiness, progressive habits that can actually help you to move forward. And listen, if you're struggling with that relationship with yourself or understanding healthy habits or happiness habits or ways in which you can strengthen yourself, be sure to check out the free training in the link in the show notes. And that training's there to provide you with a knowledge, skill set, and ability to not only begin to move on from these very difficult times in life, but it'll also help you to understand what's currently keeping you stuck. And then you'll get access to some amazing information that's going to help you with the 45-day Heartbreak Recovery Challenge. And also, you're going to get access to a course if that's something that you find yourself in need of. But that can be found in the link in the show notes below. But that will help you to really build your best self. You got to start with the free masterclass, the masterclass on how to move on and reclaim your life. And then from there, you can get access to the 45-day Heartbreak Recovery program. And if not, if you didn't get access to that for whatever, make sure you reach out to me on Instagram at TylerJoestratton. There I will be listening and reading your DMs to help you get the information that you're wanting. So just understand that there are certain habits that can help you to feel good, and there's certain habits that can help you to feel bad. You're just focusing on the bad habits right now that are causing you to feel worse than you should. Okay, so double down and focus on your good habits. And actually, the last thing, I said I was only going to bring you 3, but the last thing I really want to be talking about to you today is this. Through the struggle, you need to bring more awareness, willingness, action, and commitment so that you can change your life and turn it around. You have to have the awareness of what you're currently doing that's stopping you from being able to get to where you want to go. What habits are stopping you? What thoughts are stopping you? What stories stopping you? What beliefs are stopping you? What external part in your life, a person, a place, a thing that's currently stopping you? What's your internal struggles that are stopping you? And then what is your philosophy, your these internal beliefs in life that are stopping you? Like, do you feel and believe that life is here to only challenge you? What's your definition of life? Is it one that's like, man, life is nothing but a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get, meaning that it's going to be completely random and you just get lucky or you don't, right? What's your philosophy? Because that also stops you from being able to experience a happier quality of life. So your awareness is first. The second, once you become aware of what you're currently doing that's stopping you, the second step here is your willingness to take action. You have to be willing to want to let go of the very story, beliefs, problems, and situations that are stopping you from being able to enjoy your life. And a lot of you, the reason why you're stuck is because your willingness isn't there. You're not willing to let go of the story. You're not willing to let go of the person. You're not willing to let go of the past. You want to stay stuck in that because you identify with it too strongly. That life before was so much better than the life current. So you hold on to the story and you stay victimized. So you have to be willing to let go in order for this to work. And once you're willing, you have to take the proper action. The action that actually helps you to move on, let go, move forward, get out of this rut, turn your life around, and then you have to commit to those daily actions. That's how you begin to change your life. You have to have the awareness of where you want to go. and what's currently stopping you. You have to have the willingness, the meaning, the energy, the effort to begin to take the proper action. And then you must commit to that action on a daily to turn your life around. It's not easy. That's why I have coaches. That's why I have mentors. That's why I have people speaking into my life on a daily basis to remind me to do what's right, to get a plan of action that's going to help me to move my life forward. So I don't have to continue to say suffering and financial, struggle, or relationally struggle in my marriage, or be challenged in my career, or not feel good enough, smart enough, able enough, capable enough, or connected enough. I always find solutions to all the internal, external, and philosophical problems that I face. You need a plan too. My dear friends, I hope that you found this episode just helpful and insightful and encouraging and uplifting. I hope that you can take what I had to say and just feel empowered that you can transform your life. Everything that you want is within your grasp. That relationship, that life, that financial, abundance, all of the things, your mission, your passion, your story, it's all within your reach. You have the power. You don't need me. I'm just here to be your guide, just your friend, to empower you to get you to where you want to go, because this has nothing to do with me. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another book. You don't need another course. You just need you to fight for you to get through this. You need you to stand up for you so that you can get through this. You don't need someone there. But if you need someone and you feel like you need someone, once again, check out that free training. You'll get access to a lot of good information just to help guide you through these moments of challenges and chaos, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm helping you to overcome your life's greatest obstacles that are stopping you from achieving a next level of happiness and success in your life and relationships. Honey, I'm Home is about helping you to become a better leader in your home, a better lover, and a better server, so that you can experience more vitality and aliveness in your life and relationships. That's why I'm here. This is why I talk to you. I hope that the Honey, I'm Home served you today, and if it did, my dear friend, be sure to share it out with a couple of your friends and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to this at. I know I say that a lot, but it would really help this podcast out, even if I have one of you leave a new review on the podcast, if you found it helpful, supportive, encouraging, and or uplifting. My dear friend, my name is TylerJoestratton, and this is Honey, I'm Home.